I am a curious person. I love to explore. My adventure motorcycle allows me to go off the beaten path to discover remote and uncrowded places in the far western United States where I live. I also own a small teardrop trailer that I love to use when I plan to do a lot of hiking away from camp. Eastern Oregon, also known as the Oregon Outback, is one of the most remote and unpopulated areas of the continental United States, perfect for exploring and adventures. I was curious about the location of the northeast corner of the state of California at the boundary of Nevada and Oregon since watching an archive video of the PBS show called California's Gold, starring the late Huell Howser. On that episode, Huell Howser attempted with much difficulty to locate the stone monument at the northeast corner of California. When California attained statehood in 1850, it adopted 120 degrees west longitude as its eastern border. Between 1855 and 1900, there were 6 surveys to locate the border, with each locating 120 degrees of longitude differently. In 1872, Alexi von Schmidt, the surveyor, was paid to locate the state line. He marked the survey line with stones, wood, and iron markers. A survey 21 years later showed that the von Schmidt line was 1,600 to 1,800 feet west of the actual 120 degrees longitude. However, California and Nevada both recognized the 1872 von Schmidt survey as the state line. Very few people visit this crude monument, as there are no roads or trails leading to the location. Of course, this made it more enticing for me to find the California-Nevada-Oregon corner. Come join me on my weekend adventure to locate the northeast corner of California. I packed my teardrop trailer for the weekend adventure, and I invited my friend Cloud to join me. It would be too difficult, logistically challenging, and perhaps dangerous for me to go solo on my motorcycle on this journey. We headed east from my home in southern Oregon, and we decided to set up base camp at Goose Lake State Park on the Oregon and California border. It was about a 3.5-hour drive to the campground, which was mostly empty this time of year. We picked a nice spot and decided to go on a short hike to explore the area before having dinner, sitting down in front of a campfire, and enjoying the evening. Well, good morning. I've got my coffee and getting ready to cook some scrambled eggs this morning. It's a beautiful morning. Cold and crisp as it should be at the end of September, but right now there are no clouds in the sky, so it should be a good day. Get our breakfast, hit the road, and we'll try to find the Tri-Corners location of northeastern California's border. It was going to take us an hour and a half to drive across the Warner Mountains through the small remote settlement of Fort Bidwell to the California-Oregon border, where an unmaintained dirt road would take us to within 1 mile of the monument at the California, Oregon, and Nevada border. We just crossed over Fandango Pass. It's part of the Applegate Trail that leads to Oregon, the old Applegate Trail. And we're looking in the Surprise Valley. That's Upper Lake, it's called. Our next spot on the map will be Fort Bidwell in a few miles. All right, we are traveling through the Fort Bidwell Indian Reservation. It's the Paiute, is that what it was, Cloud? Mm-hmm. The Paiute, a band of the Paiute Indians. I believe it was probably an army fort at some point, and the Native Americans were rounded up here, became a reservation. I'll check into it. Give you a little brief history. Fort Bidwell was a military post established in 1865 to protect pioneer settlers from Native Americans that inhabited the area. The Fort Bidwell Church was erected in 1885, and the Fort Bidwell General Store was built of stone in 1874. The general store was closed, but we passed by an old hotel that appears to still be in operation. In 1893, Fort Bidwell was abandoned as a military outpost and converted into a government boarding school where Native American children were taken from their families and forced into American culture and language. The old fort building was used for the school until 1930 when it was torn down. The military graveyard and 200 acres that were once used as farmland for the school are all the remains of the original fort. The Fort Bidwell Indian community is affiliated with the Paiute Nation. As of 2020, the population of Fort Bidwell was estimated to be 173 people in this sparsely populated region. Well, we made it to our first of our destination, which is the border of California and Oregon. You can see there's a sign right over here that says, "Welcome to California." Oops. On this side, but on the other side, switch around, there's no welcome to Oregon sign. Somebody either shot it or took it down, but it's not here. But this creek basically goes right across the border into Oregon. So we're gonna head this way a little bit further. Very rural, very beautiful. Just crossed this creek, and according to my map, there's a road just to the right here that I'm hoping we can take, which will cut off quite a bit of walking. So we'll see if this goes somewhere, because the area we want to get to is out there. Oh, we went down this road a little ways, and the road keeps going, but my car is not going to be able to make it down this road, and our destination is across the creek and up on this hill according to my map. So it's a little further than I thought with my broken knee, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to go ahead and Cloud's here right behind me. She has some doubts about this. She has more sense than I do, probably. But we'll go hike it at least a bit and, see if we can get to the destination. But we'll just play it by ear and see how well we're doing. So off we go. Well, Cloud and I made it down to 12 Mile Creek from way back up here where the car is. And so we're kind of at a decision point right now. We have to cross this creek, which I'm actually amazed that there's water in it, but there is out here in the dry desert. And the destination that we need to go to is up on top of the plateau across here. So we're about halfway from where the car was to our destination, but this would be going across country. There's no trail, so I think we'll talk it over a little bit, see how my leg's doing, my broken knee that's always bothersome, and also how Cloud's doing too. So we'll make that decision here in a second. All right, we decided to go ahead and continue on a little bit further across this creek. Of course, had to take our shoes off. And then up above here is a plateau. We'll go there and walk across that and then come to a decision point again. We want to continue on or turn around after the next point too. Well, Cloud's being a good scout, and we are continuing on up the hill. This is the steepest part of it to get to the top of the plateau up there. And for some reason, years ago, somebody cut all the junipers up here. I'm not sure why, but because they're all just growing back. All right, we're taking another break. We're almost up to the plateau. Still got a little bit to go, but I'm looking at the map. You probably can't see the app that I'm here. I'm using a couple of apps. This one's just Google Maps, but I've also got another app here. Maybe shows it a little better to where the corner is that we're going to. We're not that far. So we're going to trudge on. And no path, just breaking our own trail. Oof. We are so close. The corner is just up off this hill. Look at my map here. Hopefully you can see this. There's the blue triangle is us, and the red is the tri-corner area of the 3 states. Zoom this out a little bit more. But there's a lot of brush and rock. It's 2:15 in the afternoon. It's been very hard getting up here for a couple of senior citizens. So I think we're gonna eat our lunch and I'll try to fly my drone, see what I can get. All right, we're heading back now. It was a little bit of a disappointment not getting there, but I knew it was a risk because my leg is still not doing well, my knee, and that this last bit was going to be a bit of a hoof up there for a couple of old people. So we might try it again next year from a different route, but for now, we're heading back to the car view, which is up the hill here, and it is in amongst these trees somewhere. I don't know if I got it zoomed in right or not, but it's back up there a ways, so we better get ourselves going before it gets too late. Well, we made it back, and I'm going to celebrate with a nice cold beer that I have waiting for me. Sort of an incentive to get back to the car in a little hurry. Oh, it's going to taste good too. We wanted to get back to camp before dark. I decided to take an alternative route over Mount Bidwell Pass, which ended up being very rough, rugged, and slow going. But we did get back to camp just as the sun set. We had a wonderful, enjoyable, adventurous day. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time on One of My Senior Moments.